which I think they are ranked number one for last so many years. So I'm sure from this year, education, you would be launching your career on international business, and someday you would make all of us proud and better businesses across the globe. I'm going to talk to you about success and real and ethereal success. And I think I would like to do it with sharing a story of my life. And I would request you that as I share this story of my life with you and three important decisions that I took and how success, real and ethereal, happened to me, I would want you to think about how you want to succeed. And you're already maybe between 20 to 30 years of age. And what are those three successful aspects of your life till now? Real and ethereal, as we would come to that. And what are three important decisions that you took in your life up till now, which has got you here? And then we can share it maybe after this session is over during the break, or maybe on email, or in any other way that we would meet, I think, at some international airport at some point of time and would remember our having spent this 1 hour together. And I always say that whenever I go to a classroom and I teach at Indian universities and colleges, and the best moments of my life are when I am in a room talking to young, bright minds like you. And from each session that I take with those students, I am the one who would take the maximum out of that session, and I'm sure that is what would happen even in this session, that I would go out richer, having understood from you as to how you do things. What are your success formulas? How do you see success and life beyond success? So I would like to hear from you also during this discussion. Let us make it interactive. So please feel free to stop me at any point of time, to share your part, to say what you want to say. That would make the discussion richer, and that would make it more interactive. And we are a small group of about 40-50 people, and that would be the right forum in which we can interact. So I would request you that make this 1 hour session a success. And how would we define it? Whether we succeeded or not is that out of this discussion, out of this 1 hour session, each one would at the end of this 1 hour come out richer in terms of what we understand about success, how we would have success in our life, how we have had success till now, and I would say what is real and ethereal success. And first I would like to say kind of, real and ethereal, and then take you through the journey of my life. Real success is the success that we all see, touch, feel. The money that we have, the education that we hold, the power that we have, the work that we do, the body that we have, the intellect that we possess. That is the real success. But ethereal success is the one which even would matter more, because that is what you are inside. It is who you are. Are you peaceful? Are you blissful? Are you the best version of yourself? And that would matter the most, because a lot of success without internal success, what is it changing you to, is really useless. You see so many successful people at the height of their popularity, at the height of their wealth, feel so miserable and fall into depression. I would want that each one of us here in this room become successful, and then they go beyond from success to life beyond success. Not just wealth of money, but wealth of all that you can become, of all the support that you would hold, of the peace and bliss that you would generate inside you without any external trigger. Not peaceful because there is peace outside. Not blissful because you are having a good evening with your loved one, but your natural state of peace and bliss as it would be, without any trigger. That is what you are. That is what is your real identity. We would talk about that. Now let me take you through the journey of my life and some of the important aspects of what happened to me. When I was 17 years old, my father had a heart stroke. He was a healthy man and young, around 55 or so, and we never thought that he would have heart attack so soon. We were 5 of us, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, me and my mom. And he was the only earning member in our family. When he suffered a heart stroke, it broke heart of all of us. And in a short period of 1 week, we just lost him. And that was devastating for all of us, not just emotionally, but as the days passed, we knew even financially. Up to the time he was there, none of us had to even think about money, worry about it. He was the one who would have everything organized. He would be the one who would see that the fees are paid in time, that all of us would have no repayment obligations. Our mortgage of the house would be regularly paid. So we were all insulated from all these financial worries. And he was the one who was organizing it effortlessly. And he had a good job. So we were financially comfortable. And therefore, none of us had seen financial difficulties. My mom, with 5 of us, small children, I was the youngest, but my elder brother was in a medical college, so his fees needed to be paid. My 2 elder brothers and sisters, both were in graduation. So all the students' fees were to be paid, and there was no income. There was nobody who was earning in the family. And my mom dealt with it. And every day during the dinner time, we would have discussion as to how we would handle the upcoming fee request for medical college for my brother or for the EMI of house mortgage. And those difficulties made my resolve very firm that I would have to succeed in life, that I would not want this kind of financial hardships for me every day. Not for me, not for my family. We would need to come out of this. This is not the way to live. This creates a lot of stress for all of us. And here I was about 17 years old, out from the school, and I was a below average student. So I wasn't very bright. The brighter one was in medical college, who was my senior brother. And I would not do my class homework. I would get very average kind of grades. And I knew that I had to earn money and that we didn't have money to start our own enterprise or start my own startup. I think startup mechanism that you have today was not available there, which means that if you don't have money, it was very, very difficult for you to start any business. In that situation, I thought that my only bet was to academically bring myself to a level where I would actually be able to get a good job. And that would make me financially independent. I was below average student. I was in my local medium of instruction, which was Gujarati then, which means that my English was not good. I was a commerce student. I was not an engineer, which meant that my math was not very strong. And at that time, I came across Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. IIM Ahmedabad is the best management school that India has. And it had educational collaboration with Harvard Business School at that time. Our faculty went there. Harvard faculty came to IIM Ahmedabad. So it was very prestigious. But obviously, even now and then, IIM Ahmedabad was the most difficult management education institute to get into, which means that from about 1,000 students, one would get in. There were 180 seats and about 100,000 students would apply. Even today, if you Google it, you will find that it is the most difficult management school to get into. And I knew that if I get into that, then there is life sorted. Then I would get a job which would take care of me for rest of my life. I would have financial freedom. All would be taken care of. But to get admission there for a non-engineering student, 90% of students who were selected at IIM Ahmedabad were engineering students from IITs, which are the top technical institutes of India and one of the best in the world. And to compete with them and to get into IIM Ahmedabad was my goal. So that was one decision that I would like to share with you, that from tough times, tough decisions come and tough people get through that. And then I committed myself to that and started studying. And because I had not studied well before, some of the fundamentals of even my 10th and 11th and 12th I had to learn when I was actually preparing for common admission test of IIM. And I had just 2-3 years. I started my undergrad and I was away about 2-3 years from appearing into that common admission test to get into IIM Ahmedabad. And then my hard work started of 3 years, doing my commerce, and along with that, putting all my efforts to get into IIM Ahmedabad. And as the hard work and dedication and the single-minded pursuit worked, I was selected in IIM Ahmedabad in the common entrance test to at least appear for group discussion and interview. The selection process at IIM Ahmedabad included that, which means that everybody who cleared the written exam will need to appear for group discussion and interview, which was also conducted in English, and therefore there were challenges, and I then started working on it and finally got admission into IIM Ahmedabad. And that was first success that I would like to share with you. And I know that all of you are also very successful because you are here in this school, the best school for international business. And you would have experienced your own success. And I would like to know from you as to what prompted you to your academic excellence. In my case, it was tough time. In your case, what would it be? And in this 1 year, what would you do so that you get the best out of this school? And so that you become what you want to become. And how would you create your own network of people? I'm sure this school has the best alum network. What is your formula for success further after having come here? For me, after IIM Ahmedabad, I got into a good job, and job which was paying me well. And I realized that for me to be financially successful, I would like my money to work as I work. I would also request you to consider that for rich people, it is important that their money works harder than they work. And therefore, from my first salary, I started saving money. I started saving money and not just kept it, but I gave loans to people. And loan to people in interest. And once you give loan or money to people, you actually get to know who they are. Because that is when their mother would be hospitalized, their businesses would not work, they will not be able to pay the interest, they will not be able to repay. I don't know if all of you have given money to your friends or whoever. And then getting money back is the real task. Then you get to know about how difficult their business has become, how the economy is not doing well. But that made my money grow faster. In all those years, at times I gave money and got an apartment, or at times a house or something else in return because they did not return the money. So that showed me as to how businesses happen, how people relate to money. My own relationship with money became extremely powerful. And I had no difficulty asking for my money back. I don't know as to how many of you can do it, but my son, even today, when I tell him that why don't you ask money that you have given as a loan to your friend? And he says, no, otherwise I'll lose my friend. He says, no, he's not doing well. No, I asked him, but he's not picking up my phone. So I'm saying that, he says, I'm not comfortable. So if you are only comfortable giving money, but not asking money back, I think what is the relationship that you have with your money? So that taught me, and that strengthened me. That strengthened my relationship with my money. I would also request each one of you to at least give one loan. Invest money early in your life. See to it as to how much you earn. Along with that, how much is your money earning? And my money always earned much more than what the markets were giving. And that kind of created in about, by the time I was 37, I think I had good financial freedom. I had good financial independence because my money was working. I was doing a good job. And then I thought it's the time for me to move from financial independence to financial abundance. And I had some pool of money. I had the courage, I had the network, I knew how management happens, I knew how infrastructure projects happen, I developed some core competence on project development, and at 37 I started my own consultancy firm. Consultancy firm which specialized in what I had done during that period of time. And by that time I had worked in organizations and done this. So I was comfortable doing it. From 37, I started my enterprise, which took me from financial independence to financial abundance. And I would again request each one of you to be entrepreneur in whatever you are doing. Entrepreneurship doesn't mean that you have your own business. I think a good sports person is an entrepreneur. A person who is a good vice president in an organization, who takes independent decision, who's taking risk, who considers it as his own organization, is an entrepreneur. I would consider Britain as an entrepreneur. She is managing director of the school, but she is not just an employee. She does not have her own enterprise, but she considers this Dalamoor Business School as her enterprise. So I would urge all of you to have that entrepreneurial spirit in you, in whatever you are doing, whether or not it is your own enterprise. Consider it as if it is your own and give it your best. That entrepreneurship brought a lot of financial abundance in my life. And I started earning well. I started my network well. I was active in local industries association. I was active in the government because I was doing infrastructure projects in public-private partnership. So financial abundance started happening. And during this time, when I was 47 years old, I went to a spiritual retreat called Vipassana. In Vipassana, in India, you go for 10 days and you have noble silence. Noble silence means not only that you keep silent, but you don't read anything. You don't write anything. You don't use phone. You don't see television. And there are many people like in this class that you meet in the retreat, but you don't talk to people. You don't even gesture. So it is actually life in isolation, in solitude, in just spending time with yourself. When I went there, it was much more than what I could have imagined. And for the first time in my life, I had just to myself to spend my time with. So for 24 hours, I had just me and meditation and those spiritual exercises which happened. And the first day was the toughest in my life. Second day was even more tough. And I kept on going to my guru, my teacher there, and I told him that, please allow me to go because this is very tough for me. And I said, I came here because actually I read about it and I told my wife that I think it's a good idea to go. And before I could say anything, she just sent my name there and they accepted. So I didn't know fully what was noble silence. I thought it would be keeping mum, which is okay, but I can read, I can write. That was all not there. It is about your spending time with yourself. You're all the time meditation, you're all the time knowing about yourself, you're all the time being comfortable with you. And those 2-3 days were the most difficult one because my dialogue was entirely different. I said, my life is good, I'm earning well, my spiritual spark is there, I'm very peaceful, and why do I need to come here? And it was a mistake I came here, and I want to go back, and I don't want to stay here. And they don't give food after 12 noon. So, I can sleep, I can't sleep without food. So it becomes very difficult. So first day I could not sleep up to 10, 11, 12, 2, 1, 3 o'clock. And I thought that I was not getting anything else in return. So I think that was very tough period. And after third day, when I was talking to my guru, he told me and convinced me to stay there. He says, you have already been here for 3 days. You have left your family. You have left all the worldly possessions. You are here like a monk. You are in a 10 by 10 room which you clean yourself. You eat food which is actually donated by people who studied there before you. They don't take money from you. So there is no righteousness for you. That okay, I am paying fees, so I must get this good food. I am paying money, so I must get this good accommodation. No. I was living there on the money that was given by the people who studied there earlier. And therefore, that righteousness went away. Which means that whatever food came my way, I considered it as a blessing. I considered it with gratitude that somebody else donated that food to me, and that is how I am able to eat. And therefore my righteousness melted away, that I must get a bigger room. Why do I have to clean my own room? Why don't they do this? Life became a gratitude for whatever that was given to me there. And second decision and toughest period of my life was those first 3 days. And the decision to hang on. And after that I completed from 3rd to 10th day. I think it was a very, very enriching experience, very sublime. Those were the days when I felt connected. Those were the days that taught me to be extremely comfortable with myself. I think all of us never actually spend time with ourselves. We are always seeking some external stimulation. We are always seeking to speak to somebody, to hear from somebody. Our life is designed where we are happy because something else happened, as I wanted. Or I feel sad because something did not go as I wanted it to go. We are designed to do that. At no point of time in life we actually look inwards and see as to who we are. And without any external trigger, what is my peace? What is my bliss? How am I? And those 10 days there moved me from real success to ethereal success, from rich to successful, rich to spiritual. And those, I think, days and my transition was the most important. And that was the second most toughest period that I had, and how it transformed me. So I would also suggest to you that each time that you face a tough situation, please see as to what is the destiny pushing you towards. What is it that is the message which you are getting? And don't see tough situation just as something which is unfortunate, or that you are singled out for something that you don't really like. But embrace it completely and see as to how you would use that as an opportunity to transform yourself into something that universe wants you to be. So from those tough times, that is the second toughest decision, that I had to stick to it and hang on to my Vipassana meditation. And I think that opened up a new aspect to me. After Vipassana, I came back to my practice, started my consultancy again, but I was different then. I was getting results by doing less work. Things were happening naturally. I would make an intention and it would come true. And one of that was also coming and talking to you. I think I just desired that I would like to speak to the students here when I come here. And all of a sudden I get a mail from Britain saying that yes, it would be great if you can speak to them. So things started happening with less and less efforts, with more and more ease. I felt more connected. I felt that, I am the chosen one by the guy in the sky. That connection became very strong. And I feel that spirituality has nothing to do with age. I would request you to look in your life and see as to when did you find yourself most connected. When were you feeling spiritual? What were your moments which are soulful moments? For some people it could be being at the sea. For some people it could be gazing in the sky. For some people it could be dancing. For some people it could be music. What is your ladder in spirituality? How would you connect with the universe? How would you lose sense of time? How would you just become sublime? Think about that. I think that is real you. And the more and more you are tuned with that spirit of yours, which is aligned to the spirit of the world, I think things happen in a different manner. For me, after Vipassana, it started happening. And that kind of brought me to one more tough decisions that I faced in life, which is the third one that I would like to share with you. In consultancy, I was doing public-private partnership infrastructure projects. So we were given a road project in India from the biggest industrial group in India, the most well-known, the name to associate with, and I was doing that project. And it was something which was very, very empowering. And it was something that was easy for me to do. It was public-private partnership, it was infrastructure project. I knew it like back of my hand. And the project was doing well. I was getting rewarded well. I was with the right group. The project was progressing as the government wanted it to progress. And then one day in the evening at 7 o'clock, I got a call from the manager of that project. He told me that, have you seen your email? And I said, no. Normally after 6 and the office hours, I see the mail next day morning. And he says that please look at the mail, and I have sent you the details about tomorrow's meeting in Jaipur, which is about 1,000 kilometers from where I live. And he says that why don't you look at the mail, make your presentation, and take tomorrow early morning flight to Jaipur, come there, and we have a presentation in the commissioner's office. Now I was a little reluctant, and he saw my hesitation. And he said, what is the issue? I said, look, if you tell me the last minute, I have something planned after 6 o'clock. And now next day I have something else planned. And suddenly you call me, it disturbs my schedule. I'm also happy playing my game, doing what I like to do in the evening. And therefore work is not really very important after 6 o'clock. And he says, okay, now the meeting is done, you come here and we would talk to the commissioner, and this is an important meeting and we are doing well, so bring your presentation on. I took the morning flight, went there, and we had a good meeting with commissioner. He was happy with what we were doing. After that meeting, I told the manager that, can we have a chat? And manager said yes. And I said, look, this doesn't work for me because, suddenly you tell me that you come next day morning, it becomes difficult for me, it disturbs my schedule, I have something in the evening which I have to kind of give away, give my sports away, I can't play badminton and then I have to do this, so can we plan it better? And he said, yes, we can always plan it better, and next time we would do that. 2 weeks after, I again get a call from the director of the project, again in the evening, saying, have you seen your email? And I said, no. So he said, please look at the email, and we have the ministers meeting tomorrow in Jaipur. So why don't you join in with your presentation? I said, can I send my manager there? And would that be enough? And she said, no, this is minister there, and it is very important that you come there because this is the senior most person in the government secretariat, and it is befitting that you come yourself because there might be questions, there might be interactions. So I said, okay. So again I took flight next day morning, reached there, and after that again I conveyed that please, this is something that really doesn't work for me, so if we can have some better way. And 2 weeks after, again I get a call. And this time it was the governor of a state like here, the chief minister in that state, and they said, you'll have to come because, this is the most important meeting. And after the meeting there, I told them that this kind of, is very difficult for me. So how do we handle it? And that person said that, look, this is important project for the state, this is important project for us. So you would need to prepare yourself to come at short notices. I cannot tell the governor of a state as to, you give me more notice. If there is a time available with him, we would like to grab it. And you will have to come there. And you will have to be involved in this and in the project. And then I told him that, can we discuss after dinner this matter? And those 3-4 hours were the most difficult for me. Here it was the largest group of India. I was doing a project that I love doing, of public-private partnership. I was good at it. The project was doing very well. The money was good. But I knew it was not for me. And that is where I had to, in a way, decide whether it is an entrepreneurship where my lifestyle is subject to business requirements, or it is a lifestyle entrepreneurship where my lifestyle doesn't get disturbed for entrepreneurship that I have. And I met him again after the dinner, and I told them that this is not working, and he was taken aback. He says, "You don't understand." He says, "We are the largest group of India, and we have 15 such projects coming in different cities in India." And he says, "You will have at least 100 consultants at 10 different locations having 10 years work. And it would take you to a different trajectory. You are associated with us. So many opportunities would come to you." He says, "You would only be mad to say no to this." And I said, "But this doesn't work for me." And that was the toughest decision that I took, and told them that if at all, you can take me in advisory capacity, where I would advise on the project, but I would not be in day-to-day part of business where I would be called at short notices, where you would need me to be on that business meetings at short notices whenever the government wants. And then I said no to him. And then I was involved in advisory capacity at about 5% of the fees that I would have received if I did a full-fledged consultancy assignment with them. There are times when you follow your heart, and the world may not understand, and you may not be able to justify it in black and white. But in your own mind, you know that this is the right thing for you to do. At that point of time, do you have courage to take that step, to say no to what you know doesn't work for you? But the world doesn't know, and you don't care. And you feel that you live one life, and you live that life of Nayan Parikh, of who you are, and have the courage to face the consequences which come with it. And I feel that that was a life and work balance at its best for me. And I had the tough time taking a decision, but I'm glad that I took that decision. And I decided my own course of action. And fortunately, after that, maybe I made less money, but I have enough money than what I spent. And I feel that that extra money doesn't change so much for me in my life. Not at least internally for me, not at least spiritually for me. To the whole world, it could have been different if I say that I have 100 consultants working under me at 10 different offices. But finally, life cannot be only about what you want to show people you are. Can your life be yours as what you want it to be? Because at the end of the day, or when you do Vipassana, or when you sit down at the seashore, or when you are gazing at the sky, what matters to you is who you are inside. Whether you are peaceful and blissful, whether you are the best version of yourself, whether you feel connected, whether you feel that you are living your own life and not what your father wants you to be, not what the society wants you to be, but your own signature in the world. What is it that you really want to do? I would want you to also think about this third decision. You would have faced some tough times in your life. You would have taken some decisions which the rest of the world doesn't understand. But you still took that decision. It doesn't happen just when you are 50 or 60 or 40. In a way, soul has no age. So to be able to be soulful, the age really doesn't matter. And the spiritual spark can come at the age of 5, 10, 15, 20. Most of you are 20 to 30, I think, from diverse background. And you would have still faced something in your life which you thought you followed your soul. That was your spirit. I would want that you share about that with me. And we talk about now success, real and ethereal. And what is the ethereal success in the life is when you actually grow inside. That success cannot be seen by others. You cannot put it on Insta or Facebook. You cannot share that success to others. People wouldn't know it. But you would find yourself so enriched by it that outside success just would not matter. And outside success is important too. Like we had financial difficulty, I feel that you need to be rich and spiritual both. If you are just rich but not spiritual, at times you understand that by getting money and success, you can get anything in life, which doesn't happen. You don't get everything in life just by money. Money is just money, it gives you freedom. And freedom makes you who you are. So if you are naturally a depressed person, you would remain depressed, even if you are rich. In fact, you have so many Hollywood actors who are very rich, very successful, at the peak of their career, and still depressed. I would want that each one of you become rich, extremely rich, to the most of your potential. And you are ready and open to accept the abundance from the universe and embrace that and have that without any guilt. And that money and success is very important, but not without spirituality. Spirituality is your grounding. Without that, there are people who would go awry, people who would go on drugs, people who would go on depression, people who would commit suicide. So rich without success, rich without spirituality is dangerous. You can go anywhere. On the other side, spirituality without being rich, I think, is also insufficient. So when you are a spiritual person or a monk or somebody who's connected, but you are not rich, I think it is socially irresponsible. Have you heard about corporate social responsibility, CSR? In our country, all the companies which make profit have legally to contribute towards social responsibility. I feel every spiritual person has social responsibility to be rich, because there is a finite amount of money in the universe, and that money is better in the hands of spiritual people, in the hands of good people, because otherwise that money would go to people who could be in drugs, who could be in arms, who could be in terrorism, and that money there becomes a weapon. Money in hand of spiritual people creates magic, creates a better world. So a spiritual person has responsibility to be rich. And also, one spiritual person would like to have a critical mass of more spiritual people. So if I am spiritual but I am very poor, it doesn't appeal to young people like you. But if I have lifestyle, if I am rich and also spiritual, that would appeal to more people, and we would have more spiritual people in the world, and that would make world a better place to live. I would want all of you to be rich and spiritual both, to have both success of real and ethereal. And I wish that you would share some of the toughest decisions that you have taken, some of the spiritual decisions that you have taken, some of the success mantra that you would have. And I would also now throw this open for any questions, interaction, discussions that you would want to have. Thank you so much.